We're all pretty obsessed with productivity, right? We think it means going faster, pushing harder. But what if the real key, the secret sauce, isn't about speed at all? What if it's about simply spending less time standing still? That's what we're digging into today. This idea that real flow, well, it's all about reducing the waiting.
Okay, so let's just start with this one powerful idea. Busy work isn't the same as moving work. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You have a day that's just slammed. Back-to-back meetings, a flood of emails, and at the end of it, you lean back and think, what did I actually get done? That gap, that space between all the activity and real, tangible progress, that's what we're going to unpack.
So where does that feeling even come from? Well, it all starts with what we can call the illusion of busyness. It's become the default mode for how we work, hasn't it? That constant hum of activity. It feels productive, but it's so easy to mistake it for actual achievement. And in this world, progress kind of looks like a checklist, Were emails sent? Yep. Were meetings held? Check. Are the tasks updated in the system? You bet. All the status reports are green. From the outside, it looks like everything is humming along perfectly. But here's the real question. Is the work itself, is it actually moving forward? And that question brings us to a really crucial distinction. We've got to learn to look past the performance of being busy and start looking at what's actually happening to the work. So let's pull back the curtain and see the stop-and-go reality.
See, most of us, deep down, have this picture in our heads. We imagine work moving forward like it's on a perfect, smooth assembly line. It's clean, it's predictable. And, well, it's almost always a complete fantasy.
This really lays it out, doesn't it? The myth is that smooth, straight line. But the reality? Oh, the reality is so much messier. It's more like being stuck in rush hour traffic. You get these short little bursts of movement and then you wait and you wait. The work jumps forward a bit and then it just stalls out, sitting in a queue somewhere.
So if progress isn't this constant smooth motion, then we've got to completely redefine what we mean by flow. It's not about how fast one person is working. That's just one car on the highway. It's about how the entire system of traffic is moving.
And that brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole explainer. Ready? Flow isn't about speed. It's the ratio of how long work spends actually moving versus how long it spends waiting. This changes everything. The goal suddenly isn't to make the moving parts go faster. The real goal is to become obsessed with shrinking that waiting time.
And this whole waiting thing, it's not some abstract philosophical concept. It's happening every single day. Work is waiting for a decision. It's waiting for an approval. It's waiting for a piece of information from another team. You know the drill. It's waiting for the right moment, or for that one person who's a bottleneck to finally have some free time. These are the invisible cues where all our momentum just dies.
But you want to know the most dangerous part of all this? None of it looks like a problem. It doesn't set off any alarm bells. It just feels, well, normal. It just looks like another Tuesday. And that's the perfect camouflage, right? It's exactly why these huge flow problems can hide in plain sight, buried under all our busyness. So this leads to a pretty important question. When we feel like things are slowing down, what's our gut reaction? It's always the same, isn't it? We push harder. But as you can probably guess, that instinct, it usually backfires. It almost never fixes the real underlying flow problem.
And that push looks pretty familiar. First, we crank up the urgency. Suddenly, everything is a top priority. Then, we set tighter and tighter deadlines to add more pressure. And finally, we demand that everyone is fully utilized, which really just means we want everyone to look busy all the time.
But here is the great paradox. Pushing on people almost never fixes the flow. It's like squeezing a water balloon. The pressure doesn't go away. It just bulges out somewhere else. When you push harder in one spot, you almost always create more waiting time somewhere else down the line. You haven't actually solved the delay, you just moved it around.
Okay, so if pushing harder doesn't work, what's the alternative? Well, it doesn't start with some magic bullet solution. It starts with asking a completely different question.
For decades, the standard management question has been this: are people busy? That's it. It's a question that's totally focused on how active individuals are, how much of their capacity we're using.
We need to throw that question out and replace it with a much, much more powerful one. Where does the work itself actually pause, and why? See that shift? It moves our focus from judging people to understanding the system. The whole game is no longer about effort, it's about spotting the real obstacles.
And the spirit behind this question is absolutely critical. This isn't about finding someone to blame for the delays. It's not even about jumping in to fix things right away. The first, most important step is just to notice, to see the system for what it is, with curiosity and without judgment.
All right, that brings us to our last section. And in that spirit of just noticing, we're not going to wrap this up with a neat little bow and a list of solutions. Instead, we're going to end with a few questions for you to just sit with.
So, first question for you. In your world, your team, your company, where does work spend most of its time just waiting? Is it sitting in someone's inbox? Is it stuck in a review queue? Is it waiting for that one weekly meeting to happen? Just try to picture those moments where everything pauses.
Okay, second question. Which delays have become so routine that they just feel normal? You know, the ones no one even questions anymore? Which of those normal pauses are quietly, behind the scenes, shaping the results you're getting?
And for the last one, let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine the work itself could talk. If you could ask it, where do you lose your momentum? What would it say? If you take all the people and personalities out of the equation for a second and just listen to the work, what might you learn about where things really get stuck?